And that was pretty much the only hit that the Yankees played last night at all. Fat Joe and Ice Cube somewhere in L.A. going, I was so much better than that cold open was right now on the show. Welcome into the universe, everybody that's driving the line. We are live every single morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time, only on Stadium. Also, for you OGs and degenerates out there, we simulcast on our YouTube page. Also, we replay at 4 p.m. Eastern in the afternoon. And also, Primetime Live every Monday, Thursday, and Sunday, also on Stadium. And I tell you all the time, hashtag it pays to watch live. Because when you do betting shows 365 days a year, as I tell you all the time, there's going to be good days, bad days, ho-hum days, whatever. But if you watched live last night, we cashed probably 7 to 10 tickets that we talked about on Primetime Live last night. Straight picks, we need a bounce back Tuesday. That's what we have. But when I looked at it, when I really broke it down, if you watch Primetime, and I see a lot of happy people in the chat, Daniel Jones cashed all of his. We said, be a big night for him. How about Malik Neighbors? Big night for him. Tracy, what did I say live on the show? This could be the night that he takes over for Devin Singletary. His number was 28.5. He went for 145. So you've got to watch these shows live so you can get the information to be educated and entertained. It is a busy day at the Brand. Are you kidding me right now? It is Tuesdays. We look forward to the week in the NFL trying to beat the numbers. All you got to do, subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on your notifications, check out Stadium. You don't want to miss even one single second of our incredible content, like our brand new Weekend Wager Show, which is a crew exclusive every single Friday. It drops around 3 p.m. Eastern time. And then daily, we have DTL, the podcast. It drops audio around 2 p.m. Eastern time. And for you premium members, you get the video of the podcast every single day. Now, we never forget about our good friend Howie Schwab. And every single day, you guys get to choose so we can play something together. Last night, you took the Steelers. We all cast on the Steelers, minus the 6 as they win 26-18. Today, here are our choices. We are focused on Game 4. Will it be a Dodgers celebration on Yankee Stadium turf? So here are your choices. Dodgers money line, Yankees money line. We're going to go over or we're going to go under. Give us a vote, and producer man will let me know at the end of the show exactly what we are going with. Now, it's a busy 60 minutes. It's time to settle in. You better have your paper. You better have your pen or pencil, because it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the picks. Oh, we had a bunch of unhappy Yankee fans last night, and also the Giants played. So I got to start with my man who has the best beard in the game, Soupy. Both of your squads go down last night. Good morning.
Good morning, man. What are we talking about? I was watching hockey last night. Yeah. It's just, yeah, we're all just kind of down here today.
There is something very cathartic, DG, because I know you're from Memphis. I'm from Kansas. I live in California, but I lived around New York for 10 years when I was in the WWE. There's something very cathartic about a New York fan just taking it upside of the head. I don't know what it is, but it's something.
It makes me happy to see the New York fans just kind of wallow in their misery. I love it. I was happy. Even though the Grizzlies somehow just lost last night, it was terrible. But I love that the Yankees lost.
I know you were up late doing your Grizzlies post-game show. If you guys get online, watch my man. He has all of the Grizzlies post-game shows after every single game. TJ said there's nothing better than an upset Yankees fan. You're probably right, TJ, but this man is not one because he's live from the dirty Big Chuck. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Coach. Crew, I understand how you feel, Soupy, from a suffering Saints fan down in my region, so I've got your back on that one. So a nice bounce-back day. Excited to get it going, Coach.
All right. Maddie says, not cool, Coach. Not cool. Now, this man, if I told you what this man is actually working on every single minute of the day, when I get these text messages, telling you right now, I don't know how he gets out of bed in the morning, but he is our numbers guy for a reason. Rafael Esparza. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, crew. I was on the couch last night. I wasn't in bed. I slept on the couch watching all that stuff. So I haven't been in bed in like 2 nights, but it's been a
We don't need to know about your marital issues, Raphael. We don't. We're just focused on betting. That's it. I mean, we do love your wife a lot more than we love
years.
24 years and counting. Speaking of and counting, let's start with last night. Monday Night Football had an incredible live number on Primetime Live. Thank you all for that. But Soupy, I got to start with you because the Giants proved, just like we talked about on the show, they can move the ball. They can score a bunch of field goals in the first half. I think it was 9-9 at halftime, something like that. But they're just not good enough to get over that hump. And if you're part of this defense, you got to be very, very frustrated at this point.
It has a lot to do with the offensive line. They just cannot keep Daniel Jones in the pocket. He gets pressured almost every single play. They have one of the worst sack rates in the league. And it does hurt that they don't have Andrew Thomas, who is their Pro Bowl left tackle. He's done for the year. And actually, I think it's just going to make it worse. So that's why I don't understand when we put all the blame on Daniel Jones. It really isn't all him. If he could able to sit, he had some good throws when he was able to have time in the pocket, hit neighbors, and Tyrone Tracy too on the quarterback draw. He had some great runs. I think he's going to be the next starter. There's a lot more problems than just Daniel Jones. Obviously, Daniel Jones will go next year, but there's more problems to fix.
Yeah, I think Tracy will not have DG another number like 28.5. I said it live on Primetime. I said this could be the night. He went over his number by 117 yards. But to Soupy's point, at some point, the Giants have got to figure out what they are doing wrong because now they are smack dab dead last in the NFC East.
Yeah, if you look at the Giants, their defense is good. Like, it's not bad. Like, you look at it and you're like, all right, this is probably a terrible team on both sides of the ball, especially on the defensive side. But realistically, it's their defense that are keeping them from getting blown out in most of these games. It's that offensive line, like Soupy was talking about. It is just atrocious. Daniel Jones just running for his life, trying to find somebody. Thankfully, they got the running game going last night, and Tracy might be a diamond in the rough there in New York.
Yeah, and even despite all that running around, Big Chuck, he still went over his attempts, his completions, his completion yards, and he also threw the interception at -125 that we said was a lock from the no-fly zone.
Got that, I think, on the last play of the game. I think he's competent. That's just that offensive line. I agree. Imagine if you put Danny Dimes on a team like the Vikings or the Lions, how he would do in that particular spot. So I don't think he's atrocious. I just think it's pretty much his protection. You can see that he's continuously, like the guys say, running for his life. So they stay competitive. So the Giants, they don't get blown out. They stay competitive. I think only one game that they really didn't fare well. So, they're halfway decent. I just wish that they would make a few upgrades. And I think that I'll be interested to see what they do next year, but I think they could be more competitive as the years go on if they solve those offensive line issues.
When you have teams like the Eagles and Commanders playing really good football right now, it almost accentuates it even more than what it would be if they were in their spot in the NFC East. Now, game 3 last night, Raphael, of the World Series, the Dodgers are proving that they are the squad. Now, I'm hearing people say, oh, it's the best team money. It's the way baseball is. You can pay them whatever you want. Dodgers apparently want to go after Juan Soto in the offseason, maybe the first team ever to have a $700 million player and a $600 or $700 million player. But this is about Freddie Freeman. You talk about stories. This guy is a lock. Whenever they finish this thing off, maybe tonight, he's hit home runs in 3 straight games now. I don't know what his home run number was, but maybe we should play it tonight.
I agree. That was just wicked how he hit another home. I think he has 5 straight home runs in World Series games. In his last 5 World Series games, he's hit home runs. It's crazy what he's doing. MVP lock. But I'm just a little torn that I think the Dodgers are blowing smoke on Soto. All summer long and all year long, they've been saying they're going to go after pitching next year. Last time I checked, Soto is not a pitcher. I just think they're blowing smoke to try to raise up the prices. And when are we going to start realizing that the Yankees are the Dallas Cowboys of football?
Wow, Soupy, the Dallas Cowboys of football. Now, it has been 15 years since they raised a World Series trophy. Cowboys, 1997. But it kind of starts to feel that way. And now you're seeing all these memes about Aaron Judge and his lack of hitting. You got to step up in the biggest moments or these Yankee fans will turn on you like that.
What we saw last night, though, there was a little Twitter sort of movement to praised Judge when he got home in his first at bat, and they did a very good job with it. Yankees are not as ho-hum as we want to believe. We're used to winning, and we haven't seen it in a very long time. When they won in 96, they hadn't won previously in 15 years, maybe, but they're not getting hits in the right spots. That's just kind of what it is. Soto's getting walks. Stanton has kind of gone ho-hum a little bit. And the advantage that the Yankees were supposed to have was the starting pitching. But we're seeing that flip. It's the Dodgers who have the better starting pitching in this series. Dodgers say are going to have a bullpen game. Let's see if the Yankees can get runs early, tire out that bullpen, make them forced to have 7-8 guys pitch in this game, and that could maybe start to tail the rest of this series.
It's all about one game at a time. Soupy, we only got 60 minutes. You
talk about my favorite teams. What do you want me to do?
All right, you tell Stadium we don't need commercials then. I'll wait.
I'll call him right now.
Let's get into our picks. DG, coming over to you, big boy. I got 3 today from you. Start us off.
Yeah, we're going to go Louisiana Tech and Texas State here. We're going to go with a little soccer play of both teams to score. First quarter here at -115. Texas State is the second best scoring team in college football at 11.8 in the first quarter. But then if you look at Louisiana, they don't score a lot, but both of these teams honestly have scored in 6 of 7 games in the first quarter. So we don't really need a ton of points. We just need some points. So we're going to go with that game. And then the next game we have, or I guess we're going to know the different sport here. Christian Brown, 10-plus points at -125. He's had 14.7 points per game this year for the Denver Nuggets, who we're going to talk a little bit later in the show. But he is having to play more minutes because their bench is terrible. Then we're going to go with my guy, Derek Lively, at 2+ assists. It's at -110. He is averaging 3.7 assists per game right now. And honestly, I just think he's having the ball more in his hands, especially playing on that second unit. So I like Derek Lively, 2+ assists at -110.
I'm telling you right now, you got to follow my guy. He's our NBA aficionado. And you don't focus no shows. Focus on NBA a lot until we get to January. We'll try to do as much as we can, but DG will have you covered. All right, Big Chuck, you also got 3 plays today. There's a lot of cup action going on around the world. You're up.
Germany, DFB Pokal, Stuttgart versus coach's favorite team, Kaiserslautern. Stuttgart comes in averaging 2.8 team goals at home, while the visitors' road games average 2.7 total goals on the road. The home side, they should score at least 3 in this one. We'll go with Stuttgart team total over 2.5. Next, Serie Cagliari, Bologna. I'm rolling with both teams to score that is cashed in 3 straight in 6 of their last 8 meetings. Lastly, Spain, Copa del Rey, Droblins versus Villarreal. This is just a blowout spot. And Villarreal, they've scored in 10 of 11 first halves this season. I have them scoring at least 2 or more with the first half over 1.75. You can also look at their team total if it's offered. Just numerous ways to get them to score at least 2 first half goals.
Very good. Raphael, you're up with 2.
We're going to Big Chuck's favorite team in Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns team total over 26.5 -3 nickels. And DG said they don't score. They're averaging 34 points a game and 33 points a game on the road, and they're 4-0 on the road. They're going to score tonight. And then give me Julius Randle over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists, -110. I can't believe he's still playing with Minnesota, but he's been dominating since his first game against the Lakers was rough. Last 2 games, he's been dominating the boards and points. I think he flies over this total.
Soupy only got 30 seconds for your 3. Go.
Louisiana 27th in first half points. Texas State 9. They're both going to score early and often wild. They are actually scoring this year themselves. A nice goals a game. The Penguins are 30th. They're going to win it tonight. And Kings, they are going to beat them on the puck line. The offense is getting a lot better. And the Sharks, they just won their first game. Congratulations last night, but they ain't winning again.
And not 2 nights in a row. Somebody's asking, what are cup games? There's just a lot of the countries do it. They're similar to Champions League, just not as important, and they don't play all their starters. That's kind of what it is. All right, still to come, it is DTL Good Vibes on a Tuesday morning. We're breaking down World Series game number 4. We're looking forward to the week that is in the NFL. It's DTL live on Stadium. All right, all of you degenerates out there, we understand there's only so much time in a show. And so the NBA, we're going to try and do it this way, where we focus on one game during the breaks, because you guys are our OGs. First game tonight that we're talking about, look at that one. How about the Nuggets and the Nets? And DG, last night, The Nuggets won, so they're playing back-to-back. And early on in the season, giving 5.5 on the road, your thoughts?
You look at this Denver team, they just went to overtime last night with the Raptors, and the Raptors are not good, getting their first win of the season. Denver's struggling. That's why I kind of picked on Christian Brown tonight, because I think that they're going to need some scoring, especially playing a lot of minutes last night.
And Raphael, I already played Jokic last week, his under points. The one thing that he never does is get in shape in October and November. So I like fading Jokic sometimes all the way up to Christmas.
Yeah, I feel bad for those horses he sits down in the offseason because he ain't working out in the offseason. I like the plus points on this one. This one opened up at 5.5, and right now it's 4.5. I like Brooklyn in this spot. Denver coming off back-to-back with no bench whatsoever. I look at the plus points.
Soupy, let me come over to you because I know we're going to be utilizing Prize Picks a lot later in the season. Maybe the NBA could be a sneaky spot as Prize Picks really starts to take center stage.
Yeah, NBA for Prize Picks, they have a lot of great opportunities, points, rebounds, assists, 3 points a game. You could do their combos. There's a lot of great opportunities. As we do get into December, you're going to want to take Jokic combos because he can do everything on the court.
Yeah, once he gets his big butt, big Chuck in shape. Am I right?
Absolutely. I'm wondering if we're going to have any load management in this game and why that number has come down with them playing on a back-to-back and overtime. So I'm interested to see who will actually start for the Nuggets. But I like the Nets getting 4.5. I think it is in this spot now.
I got to tell you, when I hear load management, it makes my skin crawl. I absolutely despise it. As a former college basketball player, I know it's not the NBA, but my God, Joel Embiid is making over $60 million a year. And he's talking about missing games prior to the season starting. What are we doing? Charles Barkley, thank you for saying something. We are back on Stadium live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is a Vibe Tuesday. This is always the day of the week. I'm the coach, your host through these 60 minutes, replayed at 4 Eastern on Stadium. This is always the hardest day because when you get into a Tuesday and you're still 2 days away from Thursday Night Football, still 5 days away, but it's a very important day. And for all of you OGs out there watching on our YouTube channel, you're getting very, very lazy. We got a really big number watching this morning. Only a couple of likes. Hit the like button every time you come in. It helps the brand grow. And I know you want to do that. So we got 3 games we're focused on today. We're starting in Hotlanta, the place where Chick-fil-A is not open in the stadium for Sunday games. What are we doing? But they still put a bunch in there. So, DG, let me come over to you. The Falcons laying 2.5. To me, the instant I saw this game, because of what they've done, and I'm talking 4 of their last 5 games, the Falcons have scored at least 26 points. I mean, 31, 38, 36, 26. To me, I went straight to the team total. What do you like when your initial thoughts look at the spread as the Cowboys now go from San Francisco all the way back to Dallas, then all the way to Atlanta?
Yeah, you have to look at this line and you got to think Cowboys are like a big market LA team. They're going to get a lot of money that comes on their side. And so at this, I would kind of stay for a second and hold because I don't think it gets to the 3 or over, but I want to hear from Raphael and see if he thinks that line will move because it is the Cowboys and maybe the money comes in on them, but they don't look good and they are my favorite team. And honestly, I would fade them at any chance I get. They just look like they're discombobulated right now.
They really do. But then at the last moment, like I said, I fell asleep because they're down 17. I wake up and now they're only down 6. So they have talent. Raphael, though, to DG's point, will this eventually, in your mind, go to 3?
I believe so because 2 offshore books have 3 right now, even money on the Falcons. So that's just telling me they're trying to get Dallas Cowboy money early because I think it's going to go back down to 2.5. But don't forget, the Falcons look bad at home against Seattle, and Dallas finally starting to get a little bit healthy on a D side.
All right, something to think about, Charles. As the Atlanta Falcons, they've been, we can call them up and down, but they're a first-place team. And Kirk Cousins is now, thank you to Goth and Gifting Drive, 5 memberships. Thank you very much. 5 random winners. The Falcons are now looking like the team I believe they thought they would be when they paid Kirk Cousins $180 million to come there coming off the Achilles injury, and he's just slinging it everywhere. And if they can look like this, they might be dangerous. And I think this is a really good litmus test against a Cowboys team that does have talent and only lost the 49ers by 6.
I agree. I was originally thinking this was a Cowboy spot, but the more I'm looking at it, I'm liking the Falcons to prevail. And the total, this was like at 48. We're seeing 52s now, so we're expecting a plethora of points to be put up. So I definitely like the Falcons. The more the week goes on, and I think we're going to see a high scoring with both teams putting up plenty of points. I love that team total look as well.
Soupy, I see your face over there. Plethora means a lot, just so you understand that. All right, let me come over to you. The game of the week, at least on paper, and it is the Lions, who, in my opinion, are the best team, in all of football right now. And they're on the road, laying 3.5. Jordan Love, he got injured again. Apparently, MRI is fine, but this will be the second time he's kind of been iffy. I think that's why the number is 3.5, Soupy. The Lions are a first-place team at 6-1. We know this is the best division right now as far as record is concerned in the entire NFL. And the Lions, if you look at their games, it's not necessarily their defense that is leading the charge. It's the offense, which is very scary.
This is one of the best offenses. You're seeing Sonic and Knuckles. That is what David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are calling themselves. They are putting on the boom. And then again, Amon-Ra St. Brown is progressing well. Sam Laporta, he's back from that injury. He's been getting the ball the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to see how Hayden Hutchinson did, or how the defense did without Aiden Hutchinson. They are playing just as well. This is going to be a dangerous team, even against a great Green Bay team. I think they can overcome them.
Super, you've got a nice little following going on in the chat. They have your back. They do not have my back today. They have your back.
Thank you.
Completely. They said you'd be able to spell it. You would pronounce it. I know. It's a shift, DG, and I know you're his number one rival. And I don't know how you're going to feel about it when Soupy becomes the most popular talent we have on the show.
If that happens, I'm going to turn in my 2 weeks notice, and it might not take me 2 weeks, but I think this Detroit Lions team is just like firing on all cylinders right now. But if you want to look at this game and how to diagnose it is Green Bay, I don't think they're going to be able to run on Detroit as well, but I think they're going to be able to throw. And so if there's some way you're looking at targeting this game, look at the wide receivers, maybe a little bit of Jordan Love. If he's not injured, check out that, because he did get hurt during that game. But that's how they're going to attack this game. But all in all, I want to see that number get to a 3 so I can have a push if I need to for Detroit.
During this 5-game winning streak for the Lions, Raphael, 52, 31, 47, and 42. Yet the total is only 47.5. Other places it is 48.5. So that's kind of where we're at on a Tuesday. My gut is that if Jordan Love gets a clean bill of health, that this total will start to rise just a little bit. Is my gut correct?
A little bit. I think we'll probably see 48.5, maybe not 49. It's an outside game. Lions put out those 50 points game on an inside stadium. It's all about Jordan Love. This game is circled, so not that many big bets can come in on this game to move it, because they're not going to take big bets just because of the injury of Jordan Love. So we're not going to see rapid line movement today or tomorrow because being a circle game. I would wait till Thursday and Friday to see any kind of big line movement.
All right. By the way, we have a little dissension in the ranks. Robert, who we like to call our biggest donor, he says, can't we all just get along? DG, Soupy, can we bury the hatchet on a Tuesday between the two of you? Can we just have a little simpatico? Is that possible?
Yes.
My Yankees suck. His Cowboys suck. Sure.
No, hell no, Soupy. Thank you, DG. The answer is no. That's not how we run DTL. Everybody just stop it. Just stop it. All right, let me come over. Who was I just going to? Who had Big Chuck? I'm coming over to you, because this one right now, I feel like the Packers are, as far as 6-2 teams are concerned, nobody's talking about them. Why don't we give Jordan Love any credit? And I know he's missed a couple of games with injury, and in the chat, they're saying he will not play. Multiple injuries. We don't know that to be true yet. That's why we do this look ahead every single Tuesday. Are we sleeping on this Packers team, or is this another spot for bettors to say, bang that Lions drum?
I think you would have to go with the Lions, because it's looking like it would be Willis that goes. So I think they would try to take away his running game, make him throw the ball, which definitely gives the Lions an advantage. So I would back the Lions in this spot. I'd also look at maybe an under. I think it would be lower scoring in the spot. So it's kind of the correlation. Lions and under is how I would look at this particular game.
All right, very good. Shout out to Rob. He says on the day of Soupy's Yankees funeral, a slight chance, coach. TJ says Soupy with a backhanded compliment. That's the only kind that DG is going to get from Soupy ever. Now, Soupy, let's start with the last game here. And I bet a lot of people who aren't paying attention don't realize what the records look like in the NFC West. Right now, 3 teams are tied for first place at 4-4. Is Seattle the worst first place team? And the Rams are coming in now, and they look like they're fully loaded, hence the favorite on the road in Seattle.
Brand new team when they have Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back. They looked incredible last week in Seattle. Wow. At home. This is the second time they have gotten brutally beaten by a New York team or New Jersey team, whatever, in the last couple of weeks. There's just something wrong right now. That I think it all has a lot to do with DK Metcalf being out. You got to hope he's healthy because that elevates the offense. That stretches the field. I think that's going to play a big part if Metcalf can come back this week against the Rams.
I mean, this is DG what a 4-4 team is really all about. When you win some days, like going to Atlanta, me and Big Chuck had tons of plays in that game, and all of a sudden the Falcons lay an egg. Then they come back home, and they can't do anything against the Bills. But now it's about the 49ers. Now it's about Arizona tied at the tops. But maybe the Rams, perhaps, DG, are the best team in this division when they're right.
Well, if you look at Seattle, they don't allow a ton to the wide receiver and receiving yards. And so it's going to be a game of wills. Like, can the Rams kind of spread it out enough like they have been now that they got Puka Nacua, but also Cooper Kupp back? And then can they go to the tight end who Seattle struggles against? Can they spread the field just enough to actually kind of keep poking at Seattle and drive down the field? I think that's what you're going to look at. And then can Seattle get Metcalf back? I think that's really the reason that their offense has struggled, is because when you don't have Metcalf, you can't take the top off as much. You can't have your guy that they can rely on to kind of throw it up to and have him do a little jump ball. And so that's where I think the whole game kind of relies on.
That's an absolutely great point. DK Metcalf is a beast. By the way, Robert is not going to be outdone by Gothen at all. And I love this new thing we're doing. If you're new to our little brand here and you watch on our YouTube, we have a premium side of things, and you get a ton more content there. And so when you gift a membership, it's really easy at our YouTube page. Then a random person who is not a member will get a membership, and they get access to all that as well. So whenever somebody has a good day or something like that, Robert's been having a lot of good days with us lately. And so he's been giving a lot of memberships. So Robert, thank you to you from all of us here at the crew. Raphael, let me come over to you, because this is a game and these are teams that are sneaky. Matthew Stafford, when he's healthy and he's got Cooper Kupp on one side and he's got Puka Nacua on the other, they're dangerous, but this is what the NFL is all about. And you look at a 3-4 record, you go, oh, wait a second. But if you do it every day like we do, you know they're a pretty good team.
They are, but I'm not sold on Seattle's defense. They might be the worst defense that's in first place in the NFL right now. So as long as the Rams are healthy on offense, I think the Rams can steal this real game. And I'm going to go back. I just checked with one of my contacts in Green Bay. They're saying that Jordan Love probably won't practice today, tomorrow. They're hoping to get him to practice on Friday to make a game time decision. So he's still questionable for that game.
See, Soupy, that's how you get it. You have contacts in Green Bay. That's how you become a reporter and a numbers guy and have a stat of the day. Sorry, I can only tell you so much, Raphael. I can only do so much.
Don't forget I'm cool.
Now, yeah, we forgot about that part. Raphael is cool. Very, very cool. All right, those are our 3 featured games of the week. And if you're new, the reason we do it is because the numbers change all the time, and we like to educate and entertain. That will come up in about 5 minutes. But also, you got to beat the number. In the NFL, it's never been more important. 2.5 to 3, 6.5 to 7, 9.5 to 10. Those 3 numbers absolutely matter. So stay with us every single day. We have NFL content pretty much every single day. All right, when we come back on the other side, we're talking Game 4 of the World Series. Are we going to have a sweep? Yankee fans, can your team do nothing in this series? We'll discuss on the other side. Also, Dwyane Wade has spoken. He clearly watched our show yesterday. We'll tell you what he had to say about his own statue. It is DTL live on Stadium. All right, you degenerates. We continue on here on our YouTube page. Game number 2 we're focused on tonight in the National Basketball Association. And I'm talking about these squads. The T-Wolves, DG, a little slow out of the blocks this year. And I think Anthony Edwards was too busy filming commercials in the offseason. And they're taking on the Mavs, who did win last night. I kind of like the T-Wolves with the money line at plus 170. Mavs are laying 5. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think this is a game that you look at with Minnesota. They lost the opening night, but the last 2 games they've won. They've looked a lot better. You can look at Julius Randle, who's kind of finding himself, and it's a lot of his scoring. And so he might be able to go against a team that really has size, but they don't really have the defensive presence inside that. Maybe Randle could go and pick on their smaller players, we'll say.
They have another player here, Raphael, that even though he's not known for his big-time workouts in the offseason, he did play a lot of international basketball in the offseason. And that, of course, is Luka. Do you think there's going to be any load management as far as just scaling the minutes back? Because they did play late into the season last year in the finals against the Celtics.
He normally doesn't play that role. Maybe his minutes be diminished just because they have another firepower on that court. But he doesn't usually do load management. He plays injured all the time. He's one of those ones that's always playing injured. We saw it in the playoffs. But keep an eye out for the Timberwolves. If they can out-rebound the Mavs, I think they win and cover. And this number will probably come back down to 4.5.
All right. Charles Jason in the chat says early season back-to-backs are rough in the NBA. They certainly are, yes?
Absolutely. That's why I like the T-Wolves in this spot. I think the Mavs coming in here on that back-to-back. I like the T-Wolves, and I think we'll see a lower scoring game. So it kind of correlates. If the T-Wolves are to cover and win, we'll probably see this one stay under.
Subi, I got about 20 seconds for you in this game. What are we looking at?
Don't forget that the T-Wolves, they got this crew late, and with that Karl Anthony Towns trade, they're starting to find themselves. They're starting to get the chemistry, and I think there will be a little bit of a load management. I'll take the -5 for the T-Wolves.
You mean +5? You'll take the +5?
Yeah.
I like that. I think I'm going to play with you also on that. Anthony Edwards, I think he wants to be an MVP this year. I really, really do. He's taking a lot of threes in the preseason. I think tonight he has a big night. We're back live on Stadium in 5 seconds. Okay, we have crossed the bottom of the hour. Welcome back on Stadium. Wherever Stadium is, you will find me and the crew. Amazon Prime Video. We look glorious on the big screen. YouTube TV, Roku TV. In just 2 weeks' time, Direct TV. Are you kidding me right now? We're going to be everywhere. Now, if you're just joining us, thanks for hanging out with us. We have another full half hour here in the morning. Also, we replay the entire show 4 p.m. Eastern time on Stadium as well. Gentlemen, and Soupy, I'm going to start with you because I want you to sell me. I want you to sell me on the fact that we could have a Game 5 on Wednesday. Are we going to have some guts? Are we going to reach deep down tonight? Because the books have them as a slight -135 favorite. The total, it's been this number the entire series at 8.5. What changes can the Yankees make to keep this series going?
They got to come through with runners on base. They're 5 for 41 with runners on base in this series. You can't do that and expect to win games. They have the advantage tonight. Luis Heel is going to go. Hopefully he can go at least 5. They need him for 5. And it's going to go against a Dodgers bullpen game. They need to get runs early. They need to exhaust that bullpen, and that could set a precedent for the rest of the series if there is one.
But DG, they're in a great spot if you talk about the Dodgers because that all-important undecided is on the mound tonight for the LA Dodgers, but it doesn't really matter. Sometimes when you have an undecided, you can lean towards the total because no matter what they do, they are playing with house money and they want to set their pitching staff for the rest of the series. It's smart by them and maybe a total over for us.
Yeah, being honestly possibly the last game of the season, then you can, mismatch as much as you really kind of need to, especially with a bullpen game. And so it could be a little bit of strategical here with going in and saying, hey, we want to go ahead and line up this guy with this side of the lineup. And so you could see some movement there, knowing that they have a chance to really go ahead and sweep them and win this in New York. And so I think it'll be exciting just from looking at a manager side of it and seeing exactly what they do in La La Land and seeing how they can figure out a way to maybe keep the New York bats off balanced.
Wow. Your partner in crime in the chat, who's in his feelings today because we didn't have the Kings game up there. And he's saying his Niners need a bye week. He's a little upset that apparently, DG, you're not getting enough talk time on the show today. Do you feel the same way?
I don't, but you know what? Sunday, Coach, I get a lot of talk time. Sunday night, I get to host, baby.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous about that. This is the first time I'm letting the reins out into the world on Stadium, on Amazon Prime, on YouTube TV. Raphael, do we have more confidence in the Yankees continuing this series or in DG hosting a show with commercials and all the stuff that it entails?
Wow, for an odds maker point of view, it's pick 'em. It's straight down the middle. Let's let the bettors decide where that's going to go, because I'm not even on that Sunday show, so it could be complete chaos on that one. But for tonight's game, I'd rather watch Fat Joe, Skinny Joe, Ozempic Joe sing than watch the Yankees put on a pathetic performance. Bring out the broom, Dodgers sweep, baseball's over, bring in college basketball.
Now, he has lost about 50 pounds, Fat Joe. He's no longer Fat Joe. He is just Joe. And he's still running the hip-hop game in New York City. Don't even kid yourself. I mean, Soupy and Fat Joe, they hang at the club all the time. All the time. And apparently the chat, maybe I'm misrepresenting in my head how much the chat loves my crew. Because DG, Dan says, he's the best host. What? In DG we trust from Texas Joel. DG hosting, ? That's kind of more what I'm looking for. Hashtag Team DG. Of course, that's from Big Cheesy. Big Chuck, help me out here, man. I feel like maybe after Sunday, I don't even need to show up.
Oh, you'll be just fine, Coach. But as far as this game, I think this may be the Yankees' spot against the old undecided. And the Suits would love to see this extended. They would love to see it get back to L.A. So I think this is a Yankee spot. We get to the 3-1 and see about a Game 5.
Oh, Matty B, one of our OGs, says, this has been a hard listen today. Not going to lie, boys. Yeah, when you're a Yankees fan, it is hard, Matty. Dan says, retire, Coach. DG's got it. I will get Stadium on line 1 immediately because maybe I need to go to Japan where they respect legends in the game of sports. It's time to educate, entertain. Tell you guys all the time, we want to take DTL, BTT, Coach and Bro worldwide. Sometimes we only focus on what's going on in the United States, and we don't realize just how big of a sports legend certain players are. DG, let me start with you, because Game 2 of the World Series in Japan, got almost 16 million viewers, and they have 1.5 players that they're focused on. But it's really all about Shohei Ohtani. People focus on his 700 million. The amount of money he makes in endorsements just in Japan is legendary. It's out of this world. Are you surprised that so many people are watching this all the way across the ocean?
I am not shocked at all. The fact that what Japan does is they ride with their guys. If there's somebody, a Japanese player that's playing on any team anywhere, they support them like they are the biggest deal. And I'm going to go and use this as a local thing, but Yuki Kawamura, he is on a 2-way contract for the Memphis Grizzlies. And he is one of the only players that gets an interview after every single game, practice, whatever, because the Japanese media wants to interview him. He does nothing. He literally just stands there and cheers. But because he's there, they want to talk to him. It is nuts over here.
It's something that I think people who are watching right now, you can't even comprehend what this country does for their sports stars. I went to Japan probably 5 times in my WWE career, and they treated me like I was The Rock walking down what they call Roppongi. It's their big kind of downtown where all the restaurants are at. And Raphael, they're also a culture that I wish we took a lot more from. And when they ask you for an autograph, they ask you for a picture or something like that, they always give you something as a thank you before the picture. They have these eye drops that are considered the best in the world. Eye drops. And they would always hand it to you and then ask for a picture and ask for an autograph. It's an incredible culture. But when you become a legend, like a Shohei or like a Hideki Matsuyama or like the player that DG just said, who I had no idea who that was, they rally behind. And these outlets, can you imagine ESPN sending a reporter to another country just to follow one player? They've got a lot of networks that do that, Raphael.
They didn't even do it when Marbury was over there playing basketball. Shohei's bigger than Godzilla. I mean, he can make a movie and do Godzilla-type numbers. It's just crazy. But it doesn't shock me. We see it in different sports. Everyone always asks me, are you shocked with World Cup numbers? No, because soccer's the number one sport in the world. You know what number 2 is? Cricket. So it doesn't shock me that we see these type of numbers overseas, not here in the States. So I was shocked that I thought it was going to be a little bit higher, not to be honest, because you see all these watch parties every time Shohei plays.
Should we tell Raphael now or later, DG, that China and Japan are 2 completely different countries?
Sorry, I apologize.
We'll just say overseas.
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 I meant to say overseas.
How about in the Asian market? We can say that.
I like overseas better. It's easy to say.
By the way, my man Carl says, my sister lives in Japan, and when I go visit, they make me feel like I'm a celebrity. LOL. They just do. And Charles CID in the chat, not to get off pace today, he says, Coach, we need a hockey capper, please. Didn't somebody have 2 hockey games today and break it? Soupy, what are we doing? Charles, what are we doing?
I try to come with the soccer. I mean, hockey at least once a day. I just didn't like anything on the card. But, yeah, I'm trying to fulfill at least one a day. But I know my man Soupy and Raffy usually come with a hockey as well.
And isn't Weekend Wagers, DG, a lot of hockey on Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern time?
It will be, but hockey is very difficult from what I understand and my extensive knowledge is you can't give out a lot of plays because they do some goalie changing late. And so there's some stuff that they can't do. So I know that hockey plays come a little bit closer to games.
Okay. Well, CID, follow my guys. We will work on it. We listen to you, and we will do better. Much like the statue makers down in Miami need to do better. Now, this was a story yesterday that we showed here on DTL, and this may carry over into the next segment, but I don't care. It's that good. So Dwyane Wade just had a statue released or revealed outside of the arena down in Miami. It's supposed to be one of his classic celebrations. It looks nothing like him at all. And I don't know if we still have that picture loaded up or not, but I know we have his quote from all of the feedback. If I wanted it to look, there it is in the bottom left. If I wanted it to look like me, I'd just stand outside the arena and you all could take photos. It don't need to look like me. It's the artistic version of a moment that happened that we're trying to submit. Soupy, what is Dwyane Wade talking about?
This is the PR version of saying Miami done messed up, but I will respect it because they gave me a lot of money and I won some championships with them. That thing, he looks like Thanos in that statue.
He kind of does. I mean, DG, this might be the worst face on a statue I've ever seen. And then for him to double down, crazy pants.
Do we know if the people who made Ronaldo's statue made this statue? Because they are both hideous. And the fact that, honestly, Dwyane Wade was in on the process. He saw it before they actually finalized it. So that's on him, too, that he allowed this to come out looking like that.
Raphael, that's the worst part of all this is that he was in on every single step of the way. And now I just think he's living in a world where he doesn't see reality anymore. That's all I can imagine.
We need to stop blaming the artist. We need to blame it all on D Wade. He approved this. Not if he would have said, "Hey, you know what? Can you change this?" I can guarantee you, the artist was like, "Yes, it might be a week late, 2 weeks late. It's all on D Wade, not the artist."
Charles, I got about 20 seconds.
I'm not sure who he'd want it to look like if not himself. So I don't know if that's maybe his uncle he's playing homage to, but I'll be interested to see if maybe they updated next season.
I don't want an uncle that looks like that either. Are you kidding me? Robbie Hockey line of the day. He says, can you imagine finishing that and thinking, yep, nailed it? I mean, I would love to have been that for that moment. Love to have been there for that moment. Holy cow. The worst. All of a sudden, it's now the worst statue in the history of statues. And if we get to focus on another one worse, I can't wait for that day because it'll be a long, we'll be in retirement. It'll be 50 years from now. That is brutal. Dwyane Wade, as I always say on social media, be better. We are live Tuesday on Stadium. All right, all of our degenerates are still rolling with us on our YouTube channel. I need you guys to hit that like button on the way in. The numbers, the live numbers, and the likes, they don't make any sense. You guys got to stop being lazy. You got to stop being lazy. Now, I know Big Cheesy's not happy, DG, but this is the third and final game. We've got a slimmed down version of Zion. We have Steph Curry who tweaked his ankle just a little bit. So on the road tonight, the Pelicans are the favorite as the Warriors are kind of in full retool mode. Your thoughts?
Steph Curry is out of this game tonight for sure. And so you have to look at, Brandon Ingram's played very well. They play an up and down type offense for Golden State. And so you have to look and see, is it going to come from the 3-point shooting from Golden State? And so if you can look at props, you would look at the 3 points, because if they hit them, they're going to win. If they don't, they're going to lose. That's just simple as that.
Charles, that's a very good take by our NBA aficionado. And early on in the season, you're never going to see Steph Curry, who is making $60 million a year, by the way. You're not going to see him take any chances, but there's only like 2 dudes on this team anymore that we even know. And so the Warriors have got to play as many games with each other as possible.
That's why I've been looking at the under in this spot. Plus, it looks like the Pels have went from that 3 to -1.5. So I'm a little curious as to why that is. But the under would be the spot I would look into this one. I don't see as many points as projected if we had Curry in the lineup.
Super, you like the under too?
Yeah, I do. Just because I don't think the Warriors are going to score enough. Steve Kerr said he's doing a 12-man rotation. That is very tough. You don't build chemistry with a certain unit if you're doing a 12-man rotation. And New Orleans, they're 6th in fast break points. I think they could score a lot, but I still like the under.
I got about 20 seconds for you, Raphael. Your thoughts on player props? Pretty good point by Soupy.
Player props, yes. The line movement, because the bettors are in the books want Golden State money. That's why they moved a number so they can move it. Once everyone realizes Curry's not playing, then they'll get Pelicans money.
All right, very good. I feel like you're. I need to see Raphael real quick, Soupy, or excuse me, producer man. I feel like Raphael. How are you feeling right now? Because I know you haven't had a lot of sleep. Election's coming. I want to make sure you're good. Are you good? All right, we're back on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right, we've got some happy people in the chat today. We've got some unhappy Yankee fans, unhappy Giants fans, but it's been a great morning, great live number. Thank you to everybody for hanging out with us here today on Stadium and all of our OGs and degenerates out there hanging out with us on our YouTube channel. Do not forget, if you missed any part of the show, we replay at 4 p.m. Eastern time in the afternoon on Stadium. Now, real quick, DG, before we get and recap all of our plays as we do every single show, I found a couple of fun bets that I want to get your guys' take on tonight for game 4, because it's going to be really hard to play a money line. The total when you're playing in 40-degree weather isn't always something people feel comfortable with. At DraftKings, DG, you can bet on home run props with 2 different players. And I didn't even know that. And so Freddie Freeman has hit a home run in every single game so far this series. So with Max Muncy, with Max Muncy plus 280 to hit, and if you want to play no, it's minus 370. I would not suggest that.
No,
I would not suggest that. But you can also Freddie Freeman and Shohei, who's clearly injured, plus 220 for just one of them to hit home run tonight. Do you like either one of those plays?
I'm not sure the matchup wise with Max Muncy, but it's the short porch out in right field at Yankee Stadium. Honestly, Max Muncy is a drop and drive type guy. So if he gets it, he's going to just let it fly. And so I like the Max Muncy and Freddie Freeman one, just because Freddie Freeman.
No doubt. Raphael, does Freddie Freeman go 4 for 4 tonight?
Why not? Because don't forget his last World Series game before this one, he hit a home run. So that's 5 straight. And I love the story when his kid was sick and he took some time off and how much reaction he got. He deserves what he's getting right now. Bring out the broom, sweep it. I'm done watching the World Series.
It's one of the great stories in the history of the World Series. Walk-off grand slam. The kid was in the hospital. He had to take 2 or 3 weeks off. His dad in attendance for game number 1. He raised the bat, went over, celebrated, said he still pitches BP to him to this day. That's a great story. Now, Soupy, let me come over to you, because you can also bet on Yankees players to hit home runs today. Your 2 boys, You're two guys that have done absolutely nothing. Giancarlo and Aaron Judge plus 120. And how embarrassing is this? The no is minus 155. It's a number we can play. The books don't even respect your boys anymore. Your thoughts?
It's tough because they're not hitting. And Carlos Stanton, he was crushing the ball. He has 6 home runs going into the World Series. And now it's just nothing. But you know what? I will take one of them to hit a home run. Maybe this is the time that Judge can have us all rise and come through. The captain come through for us.
God.
Please.
Oh, my God. That was awful. Charles, you're the man with the limericks. Please help me after that embarrassment.
Judge has just been a total embarrassment. I would think that would go with maybe because Giancarlo Stanton, he's kind of carried the load coming into October. He would be the one I think that could possibly judge. This has just been a horrible World Series one he's probably going to forget unless he rebounds tonight and has a big game and carries some momentum, but I don't see that happening. He looks lost at the plate.
I mean, all the Yankees fans like Soupy, they're calling for them to trade him to San Francisco. I mean, apparently you have one back postseason and the captain isn't good enough. That's embarrassing, Soupy. Your Yankee fans should be embarrassed. By the way, Barely Mental says Freeman's dad has to be busting with pride. And Phil, will you let me produce and host the show? He says DG should answer questions first. I mean, he is the co-host, right? Fill in host, Phil, not co-host. What is going on today? Embarrassing all the way around. Great live number, though. You guys are busting us at the seams here on a Tuesday. But I know there's a lot of you because I see the number rise. That's how you do it, Soupy, throughout the entire show. And so a lot of you weren't here at 10 a.m. Eastern time, and we respect that. You got jobs. Maybe your breaks don't happen right at that time, but we want you to get our straight picks and also a little bit of information, maybe one nugget, 10 seconds or less, a little something we like to call the whip around. And two of our favorite words here at DTL is day soccer. Big Chuck, start us off.
Germany, DFB Pokal, Stuttgart, Kaiserslautern. Stuttgart team total over 2.5. They average 2.7 at home. Serie Cagliari, Bologna, both teams to score. That's cashing 3 straight and 6 of the last 8. And Spain, Copa del Rey, Villarreal, and Providence, first half over 1.75 full-time goal or first half goals.
I am not a math major, but I think 3 in a row, 6 out of 8 is pretty good. DG, big man, you're up.
Louisiana, Texas State, both teams to score in the first quarter at minus 115. Both these teams have scored in 6 of 7 games this year in the first quarter. Then we're going to go to Christian Brown, 10-plus points, minus 125. He's averaging 14.7 points per game in a kind of a Denver team that's struggling right now. And then Derek Lively, 2+ assists, minus 110, 3.7 assists per game. And shout out and happy birthday to Matt Logan.
Oh, and your boy Big Cheesy says DG with some great picks. My numbers guy, Raphael, barely awake. He's working 24/7. Give me your 2.
We're going to Fun Belt Tuesday. The Raging Cajuns team total over 26.5, laying to 3 nickels. They're averaging 33 points a game on the road, and they are perfect on the road. Julius Randle over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 110. He's finally getting used to maybe living in Minnesota, so I think he's going to have a dominant game on rebounds and assists. He'll get his points, but rebounds and assists pushes us to get the W.
Yeah, I saw an interview with his wife, and she said they're really starting to enjoy living in Minnesota. So you start to enjoy, you feel comfortable, you start to play better. All right, Soupy, my man, bring us home.
Ben Woodbridge, 4th in passing success in the country. Jordan McLeod, 3rd most passing touchdowns. I think they pushed the total of Louisiana, Texas State over the first half to 28.5. And then the Penguins are allowing 4 goals and 36 shots. While they're actually scoring this year, they win the game tonight against the Penguins. And the Kings are on a rest advantage. Darcy Kemper came back strong in his since coming off the IL. I think he gets the puck line win against the Sharks.
All right, CID, those last 2 plays were for you. We've got hockey, but just like NBA, we're going to ease into the season. But we got plenty for you. All right, you guys voted. Who are we playing together today? Well, it ain't Soupy Squad. The Howie Schwab crew play of the day. The Dodgers on the money line. You all feel like the Dodgers will get it done today. Oh, and sweep the Yankees right out of Yankee Stadium. All right, we finish every single show with Rafi's stat of the day. Raphael, where are we going today?
We're going to hockey, so quit complaining. Quack, quack, quack. The Anaheim Ducks are 4-21 in their last 25 games, playing as an underdog. You know what that means today? They're not winning.
4-21. Holy smack. The Honda Center, what they call the pond, is exactly 21 miles from where I'm sitting right now. That's a second stat of the day, Raphael, right there. And you want to know what dedication to our product truly means? Aaron says, Coach, I leave my house a little before 9 a.m. Central Time, put you guys on, and I drive over to Illinois to place my bets. Say prayers for Missouri to approve. That's what a degenerate at DTL is truly all about.
Missouri not looking good. Sorry, buddy.
Missouri's not looking good, Raphael?
Nope. I get that as a betting odds, and no is sorry, Missouri.
Must be probably worse than California right now. Probably.
California's inching closer and closer each month.
Oh, my goodness. Jared says, great show as always, fellas. Best of luck to everyone. Let's cash these tickets. On your way out, hit that like button for me. I've got 15 seconds, DG. Your thoughts, big 4 games tonight. Sacramento Kings. We didn't focus. Any thoughts on that game tonight?
Yeah, I do like the Kings. DeMar DeRozan has gone over his points line in every game this season, so that's a guy that you want to target if you're looking at a betting, I guess, something to play there in that sack game.
Yeah, the Jazz are going to be very emotional. They lost a really good young player last night, a non-contact injury, and his leg was going the other way. It was disgusting. Feel bad. Broken fibula. Hopefully that young kid's going to be okay. Great show today, gentlemen. Great energy. Love the vibe. So it's time for you to go out into the world. It's time for you to pay it forward. You know the drill. There's only one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. My entire crew, love them all. You can see the sun's coming up. My man from the Dirty, Big Chuck. Soupy, best beard in the game. My numbers guy, Raphael, Godspeed, brother. And then my man, DG. Sunday, we take the training wheels off. And never forget about producer man. I'm the coach trying to keep this train on said track. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about right here every single day. DTL on Stadium.